So today on Holy Saturday, during this Holy Week, we're dealing with two very different groups of individuals. We don't have much about what's happened on Saturday with the disciples except for the story of Joseph of Arimathea taking the body of Jesus and laying it in the tomb that he had purchased. So in some sense, you have on one side, you have a group of individuals, the disciples, the followers of Jesus, who are in waiting. They're waiting to see what is going to happen. They're lost. They're confused. The witness of what happens on Resurrection Sunday and their response to the women who come and tell them of the risen Lord gives some indication of the fact that they are doubting everything that they had heard and seen so far. And that could be us. That's where we can stand sometimes with Jesus, as we don't see Jesus necessarily working in the way that we want him to work, or we lean into the promises of God and we're waiting for him to respond and it feels like he's not. We're sitting and waiting. We often sit in our life with Jesus on Saturday. But on the other side, and this is the glorious reality for us, I believe, for what we're going to see tomorrow on Easter Sunday, the risen Lord, is that on the other side you have a group of individuals who are scared. They are nervous about what they know about Jesus. We have this in Matthew 27, verse 62 through 66. The next day, that is, after the day of preparation, the chief priests and the Pharisees gathered before Pilate and said, "Sir, we remember how that impostor said, while he was still alive, 'After 3 days I will rise.' Therefore order the tomb to be made secure until the third day, lest his disciples go and steal him away and tell the people he has risen from the dead. And the last fraud will be worse than the first." Pilate said to them, "You have a guard of soldiers. Go make it as secure as you can." So they went and made the tomb secure by sealing the stone and setting a guard. You see, on the other side of the disciples, on the other side of the ledger, you have the enemies of Jesus who will do whatever is necessary to try to silence him. And the interesting thing about this is Jesus is not there to defend himself. He's not there to give a word against the Pharisees in the way that he was able to before. He simply is in the tomb. And there's some things theologically that happen while he's in the grave that we don't have time to discuss here. But what it points to is the fact that even when Jesus is not physically present, the enemy cannot silence him. There is nothing that can silence the power and the work of Jesus Christ. So even today, as we look at a time where we sit in waiting, we sit in some sense of potentially fear. We even sit in a place where individuals outside of our churches are telling us how and when we are able to worship. Friends, nothing can silence the voice of the church. Nothing can silence the voice of the Lord. Nothing can put the Jesus in the grave and keep him there. Nothing can keep the witness of Jesus Christ. Even on this Holy Saturday, as we prepare to worship the living God digitally in a space that we've never done before, nothing can silence it. Even in our waiting, we can trust that the witness of the Lord Jesus Christ is always faithful. It always works for his good. It always works for his glory, and nothing will silence the church.